Well, I mean, the night before the storm, I was watching the storm coming across the long track that it had, and we were getting, there's not a severe threat, really coming in. It's kind of dying down. I think we were maybe a threat level 1 or something, and so we weren't really anxious about it. I mean, at that point, we hadn't been hit directly by anything before. And so there was a little calm amongst the neighbors and things. I continued watching. I don't go to bed typically, so I was watching the radars and kind of watching the news in Nashville, watching you all, and as it started hitting Nashville, and just was following it. It was hitting some places, some businesses that I do business with daily, and thought, I hate it for them, and just continued watching. And probably about 20 minutes before it hit, I got the National Weather Service alert that we were under warning, and we get put on warnings a lot, and I'm not going to say we dismiss it, but until I see it's closer, or till Tyler or one of the guys in the EOC tell us it's closer, we don't get excited. But I was watching the track, and I was watching where it was going and kind of the direction and the speed. And then probably 5 minutes before it hit, we got the cell phone alert that it was imminent, and so that kind of anxiety kind of stepped in, adrenaline kind of kicked in, and so I kind of got up. I started looking around. I got into jeans and a fire department t-shirt. I still don't know why I did that at that point, but I walked to the back door just to kind of look out because I could see west. And as I was standing there watching, the sky was just bright, that yellow gray color, and I wasn't hearing the reports that others were about the road locations and where it was hitting, so I didn't know that going in. But as I was watching, I saw one of the houses on Plunkwitson just go up in the air. Saw another roof come off, and about that same moment, the wind gust hit the back door and bent the back door in. As I was standing there, I jumped into the hallway, started screaming, because unfortunately no one wants to get up and be attentive, when the warning goes off. But I was screaming, getting everyone out of bed, trying to get into the hallway. Pulled my daughter out of her room couple of seconds before her window exploded, and so they're on the floor. I'm leaning over them as the things are hitting the house, and you could just hear the destruction outside. And so we waited the storm out, which seemed like forever. I think it was 30 seconds probably before the noise came in, the destruction was happening, and then there was nothing. It just dead silence. And so I made sure everybody was okay, walked to the front door, opened it, made a couple of remarks that my children remind me of to this day. I was in shock, really. I looked out, I saw trees down, I saw trailers and things flipped over from other properties in the driveway, and I thought, well, that's bad. We've been hit. And then it just, something said, look to your right. And I looked to my right, and I glanced back, and 5 seconds, I looked back because I realized that the houses beside of us were gone completely. And fear set in. But in the same moment, in that fear, kind of 30 years of training and response and things with the fire department it kind of jumped in place. I started looking and trying to see what else was damaged. I immediately got on my radio and radioed in that we had taken a direct hit and that everything around us was pretty well destroyed, and to send everything that they could. And I went back in, tried to situate my wife and kids to calm them down a bit, let them know what was going on. Walked back out, and I could hear our neighbors yelling, and so we went over, and they were coming down from the remains of the house, and they asked, can we can we come in your house, because it was still standing, thank God. And so we of course brought them in and started having more people kind of walk this way, and we were trying to get to people and say, hey, come down and take shelter. And my wife and kids did. They did an incredible job. They held composure and took care of the folks like they were their own. We started having a couple of guys that had gotten their trucks out start coming around. They were trying to get folks to the hospital, but the roads were blocked, and so we started taking neighbors in and sheltering them and giving medical care that we could. There were some that were brought that didn't make it, and that was tough. Again, it's not greatly different than the things I've responded to, but it was in our own home. It was in our own neighborhood. It was people that we knew closely. And so there's a lot of emotion in that. But we did the best that we could and kept them here. I don't even remember how long it was. We had 28 people in our living room in various conditions medically. But the most that we were able to do for them, the best thing was to calm them down, keep them from going into shock and things. And when we finally got ambulances in up at the church parking lot, we started walking the patients up. My kids grabbed the little ones. Sorry. And walked through the debris, past things that they didn't need to see. And I feel like God shielded them from noticing that. But they walked them up. They stayed with them until they could get taken care of and came back. And then we came back and started trying to get our things in order. And so time kind of flew by. The next thing I knew, it was breaking daylight, and we're walking back from the church. And daylight was tough, because that's when you truly see the destruction and what had truly happened. And it's changed. It really changed all of us in some sense. Finding connections to people that we knew here, other family members. My daughter had somebody ask her the other day if she knew such and such, and it wound up it's one of her coworkers' sisters that was taken in the storm. And so we still, even outside of the neighborhood, we still have a lot of connection and unity with the people that were involved and the families that were involved.